Hello students. In last PPT actually we have discussed about the necessity of EHVAC transmission. Okay. Now we will discuss about the aspects of EHVAC transmission. So now we are using the chalk and talk type of the system. Okay. See, generally the question is asked, what are the aspects of EHVAC transmission? Okay, so total 10 aspects are there. We will start with the number 1. Number 1, power transfer ability, transient stability limit. Okay, so this circuit is a single line diagram of transmission line. This is the bus bar. The name of this node is sending end voltage, this is receiving end voltage, and I have shown the transmission line. Okay, so in transmission line I have shown XL. What is XL? XL is the inductive reactance. Okay, now look at this. In last PPT we have discussed that power transfer is given by Vs VR by XL sine delta, where Vs is the sending end voltage, VR is the receiving end voltage, XL is the reactance of transmission line, and sine delta. So we already discussed delta, you have to take 30 degree for the stability of the system. Otherwise, suppose delta greater than 30 degree is there, in that case system will be unstable. So for stable operation, generally we are considering delta as 30 degree. Okay. So now we will put the value of delta here. So power transfer is given by P is equal to Vs VR by 2x, because sine delta, sine 30, it will be 1 by 2. So P is equal to Vs VR by 2x. So from this expression you can understand the previous expression is P is equal to Vs VR by XL sine delta. Okay. So suppose I am saying this is the steady state limit of power transfer and this is the transient limit of the power transfer. So you can conclude that maximum power that can be transferred during transmission line is only 50%. So irrespective of all these things, you can conclude that maximum power that can be transferred from sending end to receiving end is only 50%. So this is limitation of EHVAC transmission. Okay. Then number 2 is the series capacitor. Okay. So what is series capacitor? As we have studied, transmission line consists of the inductor, capacitor and resistor. Okay. So generally there will be the T or the pi combination of these elements. Okay. So now we will see the second point, that is series capacitor. So what is effect of adding series capacitor in the transmission line? See here I have shown XS. XS is a series capacitor. Okay. So power transfer is given by Vs VR by X sine delta. See here I have shown XL. This XL is actually the reactance of transmission line, or you can put directly X instead of XL here. Okay. So there will not be any confusion. Okay. So total X will depend on the value of XL and XC. As you know that suppose XL is greater than XC, then in that case you will write XL minus XC. Suppose XC is greater, in that case XC minus XL. But as you must be knowing that capacitive effect cannot be greater than the inductive effect, because XL, that is inductive reactance of transmission line, is predominant over the XC. Okay. So now see, suppose XS is added in the transmission line, in that case power transfer is given by Vs VR by X. Now I am replacing that X with XL minus XC here, because I am assuming XL is greater than XC. Okay. So this is the power transfer, that is effect of adding the series capacitor in the transmission line. So what you will conclude from this? Here the value of X will decrease because of addition of XS. So what will be effect? Power transfer will increase. As you know that P is inversely proportional to X. So value of X is decreasing, so power transfer is increasing. Okay. Now next point. Third point is shunt compensation by shunt reactor. Okay. See, as the name suggests, shunt. Shunt means it is connected in parallel, and compensation by shunt reactor. Why I am saying the compensation? As you must be knowing what we are doing. Compensation elements are actually the inductive elements and the capacitive element. Suppose the effect of inductor is more, in that case for compensating the reactance of transmission line we are adding Xc. Suppose Xc is predominant, in that case we are adding XL. So that is called a compensation. Okay. Now look at this. This is again the single line diagram of the transmission line. Here shunt compensation by shunt reactor. Okay. So what we are doing? We are adding shunt reactors in transmission line. What is need of adding shunt reactors in transmission line? See, I will tell you. When low load is there may be the possibility that load is less. In that case, the receiving end voltage is greater than sending end voltage. Okay, you have studied this effect, and this effect is called as a Ferranti effect. Okay, in case of Ferranti effect, you must be knowing the capacitive reactance is predominant, and because of the predominancy of this Xc, receiving end voltage is greater than sending end voltage. So what we need? We need VR is equal to Vs or Vs is equal to VR. In that case, what we have to do? We have to decrease the effect of Xc. So what we will do? We will add XL. Okay. So that it will get compensated. Okay. So now look at this. Here we have added the XL. Okay. So generally XL is divided in two parts. For example, the total inductive reactance is XL. In that case, we are adding XL by 2 at the sending end voltage, XL by 2 at the receiving end voltage. Okay. So generally it is desirable to add XL or XC at the sending end, receiving end, because you must be knowing in case of HVAC transmission, there will be substation after 250 to 300 kilometers of transmission line. So what we need to do? See, actually we are not adding the compensation device in between the transmission line. What we are adding? We are adding compensation device at the substation. And where are the substation? In case of HVAC transmissions, substations will be after 250 to 300 kilometers of transmission line. So we have to add compensation devices after 250 to 300 kilometers of transmission line. So are you getting the concept? See, suppose the sending end voltage length of the transmission line from sending end voltage to receiving end voltage is almost 1000 kilometers. Okay. So in between these two terminals, there will be the substation after 250 to 300 kilometers of transmission line. So are you getting the concept of adding the compensation device? Compensation will be both inductive as well as capacitive. Okay, so this is point number 3 that we have seen. To decrease the effect of Xc, we are adding XL. Okay, so that is called as compensation by shunt reactors. Okay, now next point number 4. Shunt compensation by shunt capacitor. So what we are doing now? We are adding shunt capacitors. Okay. So what will be more? Effect of XL will be more. And when XL will be more? If the load is heavy. So what will say? The lagging power factor. Okay. Effect of lagging power factor is more in case of heavy load. Okay. Because most of the industrial load is inductive. So that is lagging power factor. Okay. So what will happen? Here, if heavy load is there, so lagging power factor is more. So receiving end voltage is less than sending end voltage. Just now we have seen here inductive reactance is predominant. Okay. So what we'll do now? We will add capacitor to nullify the effect. I will not say nullify, to compensate the effect of XL. Okay. So where we have added Xc now? We have added Xc at the receiving end. Okay. Next, see, This is point number 5. Point number 5 is static VAR sources. So what are the static VAR sources? Can you see a circuit diagram here? Okay. So this circuit diagram shows that this is actually the fax device. Okay. Flexible AC transmission device, fax device. So see, point number 3 and point number 4 concludes that we need compensation. So both type of compensations are required, inductive compensation as well as capacitive compensation. So the condition may occur in the transmission line that compensation will be required. So see, what we are doing, we are not actually going there, then we are adding XL or XC depending on the effect. So we have to take the devices there. See, look at this. Here actually we are using static VAR sources. So what these sources are doing, this part you can check that these are the thyristors. Okay. So if the effect of XL is more, when XL will be more, if heavy load is there, then we need to add XC. Okay. If low load is there because of effect of this XC, so what we need to add XL there. Okay. So suppose requirement will depend on the condition. In that case we will use static VAR source. Look at this. Here I have written during high load. Okay. During high load what will happen? Here lagging nature will be more. Okay. Why lagging nature will be more? Because effect of XL is more. So what we are doing? We are adding XC. Okay. So look at this. Here we have added capacitor, that is compensation device, to compensate the effect of XL. So what will happen in this device? If high load is there, in that case current will flow through this part only. Okay. Now if low load is there, low load will be effect of XC. In that case receiving end voltage is greater than sending end voltage. So what we need to do? We have to add inductor there. Okay. So during low load current flowing through this part will be more. Okay. So with the help of one device we are compensating both the techniques. See, capacitive compensation as well as inductive compensation. Okay. Now we will see point number 6 and 7. Yes. Up to point number 5 we have discussed about the compensation technique. Okay. Now the next point is actually corona. Now we all are familiar with this word, but this corona effect occurs only in case of the extra high voltage transmission line and ultra high voltage transmission line. So you must be knowing that is because of the dielectric strength of the material that is different from the corona that we are facing today. So see, this is actually the conductor. So this is one of the disadvantage of EHVAC transmission, that in case of EHVAC transmission corona effect will be there. So this corona effect is not desirable because of the corona losses will be more. Okay. So when corona will occur, look at this, when voltage gradient of the conductor is greater than dielectric strength of the air. When voltage gradient of the conductor, this is conductor, voltage gradient of the conductor is greater than dielectric strength of the air, what will happen? Ionization will occur. In that case corona takes place. Okay. So there will be loss because of the corona. Okay. So again we have to take some remedial actions to reduce the effect of corona, otherwise it will affect on the power transfer from sending end to receiving end. Okay. Now next point number 7. What we are doing? We are using bundle conductor to reduce the effect of corona. What are the bundle conductor? These are the bundle conductor. Generally, universally bundle conductors are used for the voltage greater than 220 kV. So what will happen when we are using bundle conductor? So corona will decrease. So ultimately the losses because of corona will decrease. Okay, next point number 8, intermediate substation. We have discussed this point earlier, or I will say this is one of the disadvantage of EHVAC transmission, because in case of HVDC transmission there will not be substation, but in case of EHVAC transmission, as we need the compensation, okay, so what we are doing, there will be the intermediate substation after 250 to 300 kilometers. Okay, so there will be number of substations there. Next, point number 9, number of circuits. At least two three-phase circuits are required. See, suppose there is failure of one of the line, so there will be complete blackout. So we need a substitute arrangement. So at least two three-phase circuits are required. So cost of conductor, cost of transmission line, cost of erection, it will be more, okay, in case of EHVAC transmission. Then last point, that is point number 10, surge impedance loading. You have studied this surge impedance loading, that is SIL, in power system. So switching surge occur at opening and closing of unbalanced line. Insulation is designed on the basis of switching over voltage. Okay, see, one more aspect is there in case of EHVAC transmission, is that we have to design insulation coordination. What is insulation coordination? As we have just studied, in case of EHVAC transmission, the voltage gradient of the conductor, it will be very high. So there is always possibility of breaking of the insulation. So cost of insulation will be more. In that case, we have to design insulation according to switching over voltage. Okay, so that is called the insulation coordination, that we will see in unit number 6. Okay, so this is about the aspects of EHVAC transmission. When the question is asked, what are the aspects of EHVAC transmission? So you have to explain all these 10 points in detail. Okay, next we will discuss about the power handling capacity of transmission line. Thank you very much.